Hi, I'm Jaden Truman, and today I'll be demonstrating PlanStudio. PlanStudio is our indoor mapping program that allows you to visually see all the assets within inside your building. What I'm currently in now is our floor plan editor. Inside that floor plan editor, we have the ability to add doors, walls, furniture, and even wayfind our way throughout the building. To add a wall in, it's a simple use. We click on our wall tool, we set our preset, whether that being internal, external, and everything down to short and tall fences. Zoom in on our plan, and from that, click and drag, and as we click and drag in red, we get our running measurement. Click and drag again. Now as you can see here, I've drawn our walls really rough, but that's just to show you our next tool, which is our trim tool, which allows me to cut off the extra overhangs, like so. So now we have a neat plan. One good thing about PlanStudio, it all works off a click and drag function, whether you're sitting behind a computer like I am today, or out on site using a tablet with a stylus, or even your finger. Now that I've added this room in, what we want to do is add in some doors. So if I click on our doors, as you can see, we have all different door types here, and all our doors work off a fixed width. This fixed width can be manipulated to your particular number, or you could simply turn it off, whatever you feel necessary. Now, to add a door in, simply zoom into your wall, and what you want to do is work out which way your door swings, whether it's out of the room or into the room, then starting from the hinge and drawing on that line closest to the swing, release, and as you can see there, PlanStudio automatically populates that arc in. Now, with the fixed width turned on, PlanStudio is smart enough to make the added estimation for this door size. So if I click and drag here, release, as you can see, the measurements doubled. I release, and our door's been populated in there like so. Nice and simple. With that also, as you can see, as I zoom out, because it's based off of satellite imagery, we also have real world scale. So if I was to come to our annotation tool, select our measurement option, come into that room, click and drag, and as you can see there, it snaps to the wall and gives us a real life measurement. Now it may be off by about maybe half a meter, but it's still pretty accurate, and it's all based off that satellite imagery. And because of the way that we've drawn it, even surrounding buildings inside your campus are visible as well. Now, what we want to do is add some equipment and possibly some furniture into this plan. To do that, we come into our furniture plan. With that, we also have the option to then choose from our fixture library, whether we want to add in a kitchen bench, a desk, a round table. We simply select the option, it populates into our screen. We then have the option to then click and drag it in place and also resize it using these options. Now that we've done that, we can jump into our equipment tool and place down any equipment that may be in the room. So we have three different equipment types. So we have a leader line icon, which is like what you see in the background here. To place them, we click and hold. And then from our icon library, which holds about 325 icons, we can use the search, we can type an extinguisher. We have all different types of extinguishers listed here, but we'll select this one. Once we select the extinguisher, we also have the ability to add some data against that. So whether it's a last service date, whether it's compliant or not, service, and any faults that you may have found with it. We also have the ability to, if we scroll up, to take photos, as well as a pink plus button, add documents, and potentially notes. Now that we've added that, we also have the ability to use a zoned icon. So if we wanted to say, for example, mark in a potential fire pump room or fire control room, we click and drag to highlight the room area, release, and then from that, found our icon, click off to the side, and then as you can see there, we've added our icon in there, like so. If we wanted to mark any detectors, whether they be in the ceiling or mounted to the ceiling, we can use the fixed icons. So if we click to place the fixed icon, come in, again to our search, smoke. We have all these different detector types as well as alarms. Select that, and then as you can see, we have other metadata attached to this equipment as well. All this data here can be customized to your particular wants and needs. Now that we've done that, we also have the ability to add in the green running man, the exit signs, just by simply clicking and placing. We have the ability to show a direction based on these arrows up here. Now, if we ever wanted to attach any data to any of the fixtures, we do have that ability as well. We come to our selection tool, and with that, we can add a fire rating. And then with that fire rating, we also have the ability to mark what time it's worth. So as you can see, we've got a 30 option as well as our 90. And now those colors change based on the particular option you choose. We also have the same option for fire doors. Selecting the fire and then coming to this and then choosing what option you want. Nice and easy like that. And as mentioned earlier, we do have the ability as well as to attach notes, photos, and documents to these pieces to these walls and doors as well. Sorry. With that, so I'll move to our wayfinding options. So our wayfinding options are essentially built for either track evacuation maps, or if you wanted to have a service provider map to a particular maybe detector that is essentially damaged and needs replacing, instead of having your contractor or service walking around your building for the whole time, you can essentially attach a map and they're able to click using the preview option. And as you can see there, it's showing us all basically the evacuation points. But if we use these green little exits, so if I was to come to our layers, scroll down to our equipment, and we hide our fixed icons. Based on these green little targets is essentially how all the distances are worked out and where the program knows to run essentially your evacuation paths. Now with that being said, all this information can be collated into many different formats. So if I was to come to the preview here, as you can see, we can do our stock standard template. With the template, everything here is editable. As you see, if I click to the next page, we can do the zone block plans, template completely changed. Colors and alarm zones can all be manipulated as well. We jump in, we've got our fire strategy plans. And then we also have the ability to just do a simple firefighting equipment map. Now this could be, if we wanted to, you could show all your detectors, you could show all maybe your pull stations. It really depends on what you want to see visible here. We can create what we call an icon filter, which essentially only shows things that are actually in that filter. So if we back out of that, I'll show you how we have the ability to make slight changes and then that change goes throughout. So if I wanted to come in and draw another wall, and we'll cut this room in half, like so, and we'll add in a sliding door. When we jump into this preview here, if I zoom into that section, as you can see there, that wall's been automatically added, and as I click through all the different templates, it's been added to every single page here. Nice and simple like that. And another thing I'll show you once we've done that, we also have the ability, if I was to come back into our layering system, turn on my particular piece of equipment I want to see, we also have the ability to show the data sets information in here. So if this was a non-compliant smoke alarm, I select no, and if I want that visible to be on a plan, I can select that to appear. Now each 4 of these options is just 4 different corners of the icon here. Now with that being said, what we also have the option to do, and because it's on the Bing map, we have the ability to add any information on that site, whether it be photos, notes, or areas of interest. We can also customize any icons to be suited to your needs, whether it be fire, safety, HVAC. Anything you particularly want to mark on a map, PlanStudio has the ability to pull that icon in and then have that visible anywhere you want to add on your plan. As well as what I should have mentioned earlier, you have the ability to pull any data that you place attached to a particular icon into an Excel spreadsheet so that you can then sort of mark when you know the last service dates were and what's coming up in terms of asset numbers as well. Do we have any questions in the chat? Alrighty, so what I'll go into a bit more depth is our sort of output preview. So with our output preview, as you can see, it's based off what we can see in this plan. So as we've only got half this building showing on the evac map, if I come to our framing option, I can zoom out and you can see the blue fill in the bottom right hand corner increase. As I zoom out more, there's the end. So we have the ability to break down your building, and it also means you have one point of truth instead of having multiple different sections of your building. We can come out into the layouts option as well. We can click and drag icons into place. We can even come into theming. So if there's a particular piece of equipment that was too small, we can scroll down the side here and say our leader point icons are too small. We can tick them here, type in a number, and as you can see, the size increases there as well, all based off that. And that change will only affect this particular output here. Perfect. Well, if anyone has any questions for the chat, put them in and I'm more than happy to walk you through any options. Alrighty. And what I'll show you is our site plan option. So as you can see, we can have our site plan visible in the background, also maintain and edit that. We also have the ability to turn on floor plans. So as you can see, I can turn on and off this little hotel up in the top right. I can turn on my floor plan here. It'll become visible, but knowing any changes I make is only to the site plan listed here. Alrighty, just wait for anyone to send through any questions. Sorry for that, guys. So what this also ties into is our online training program, which is PlanSafe. So any details that you place in PlanStudio can then be pulled through to our online training, which makes it quite simple and makes it site specific. So anyone that train or works in that building can see essentially where they work or where they, where they sit at their desk. Click on the wayfinding option that's built in within PlanStudio, and then you have that ability to basically click and they can see their exits. The training can be tailored to their site. Sorry. And it can be also managed through that as well. So you'll get a track of how many times people go in, how many attempts they have, and you can also control the pass rate as well, whether it be, from our questions that are automatically placed in there, you can essentially change that pass rate. Another thing that's really good with PlanStudio is the ability to make changes while on the go. So if you're out on site and notice that a extinguisher is missing, or that it needs to be in place, or there needs to be a extinguisher added, you can essentially, with a stylus or while out on site, place that icon in there. So essentially, it gives you the ability to grab all the information you need out on site and then come back to the office with a completed job. So again, to place in an icon, we click and hold, we get that placement there, And then from that, we can type in hydrant, heat detector, place that there, as well as having this information attached to that as well, which is only attached to that particular option. Which then also ties into plan safe, sorry, as well. So anything you make, any changes you make on PlanStudio, and if it's attached to a plan safe site, will automatically be updated through that, so that you know all your occupants have up-to-date training in terms of building layout and icons and equipment placed on there, like so. Do we have any questions? Alrighty, well, if there's no more questions or no one wants me to run through anything in particular, that'll be it for today. Um, Thank you for showing up and appreciate your time. And hopefully, we talk soon in a more in depth demo. If you want to trial Plan Studio, if you head to Locatrix, www.locatrix.com, that will essentially give our website, give you pricing information, as well as the ability to book a more personalized demo with myself. Or if you just want to trial PlanStudio and see if it fits into your business, there's also a free 30-day trial that you have the ability to do. Alrighty, thank you.